welcome back. I heard you checked into the White Lotus while you were away. Glad to hear you still made it out alive.
Yep. Aubrey Plaza is surprisingly amazing actress, but I already knew that because I find her sexy and everything.
She's great. She's great.
Yeah, and then I watched the first season and I was like, "What is this?" And then like the second season of White Lotus, the freaking manager, she's like my favorite character. She's just a bitch.
Yeah. Yeah. She's great. I don't know. I mean, it's cool that, sorry, mini White Lotus review before we start, but I actually love the second season. I think it's like the best. And that's why I was curious to get your final view of like what do you think of the series as a whole?
The series as a whole, it's a pretty decent watch. It's definitely not something you can binge. I think it's something you could definitely casually lock. Like, I've been out of work for a couple of weeks because I've been on healing my back and whatnot, and the amount of TV that I've just casually watched, the amount of just anime I've just popped on is just been astronomical. I'm starting to run out of streaming services that I can watch. I'm gonna have to start watching ads on stuff or something. Yeah, and and
Ads.
and sorry
Don't give
guys,
them ideas, man. Don't
I
give
meant
them
to get
ideas.
this Halloween episode out earlier, but unsurfing things happen. But you guys got your awesome episode last week. Wish I could have been there. I watched that show too. So we're just going to go right into it. Welcome to the Two Act Podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts, gothjon, and this is always with Adi. We are going to cover today the 2019 Satanic Panic, directed by Chelsea Stardust, with a screenplay written by Gady Hendricks, and then I think another dude wrote it. What's his name? Ted Gona. Sorry, guy. Geofafan. It's two screenwriters. I guess they're like one of them's like a novelist, which kind of explains why some of the dialogue is so punchy. The Chelsea Stardust, the director, she works on a ton of horror films such as like The Purge, a lot of like Jason Blum joints where he's like the producer on like The Lazarus Effect. And it's her second film directing. Worked on a ton of horror films as an assistant. And then there's a little thing about like what the title is. So in the 1980s, a Canadian psychiatrist was implanting like false memories in this patient, and that's where they came up with they were like, oh, I was satanically sexually abused because like
Really?
they like implanted like these ideas inside these
Wow.
patients. It was like, you remember watching Get Out? It's
Oh
like that
yeah,
where the
yeah.
psychiatrist puts you in a
Hypnotizes
trance.
and
Yeah, and puts you in a
right.
trance, and
So
you're like
that's where
remember.
the whole like
Yeah,
term
yeah.
exists, like came from. Wow.
Where satanic,
I did
it's kind
not
of like
know.
reefer madness. Like you're like a little too like obsessed and crazy about something that really isn't that bad. Like Dungeons and Dragons was witchcraft and all that, and Magic the Gathering in the 90s and all that stuff. Like even I was accused of being a witch because I played Magic the Gathering in middle school, and I'm like, you guys are crazy. So
What?
basically, yeah, yeah, which is funny because
That is wild.
I was a practicer of the dark arts in high school, so it is what it is. You gotta when you're a goth John. Yeah. So the general like intro into the movie is like it's this virgin pizza girl delivers a pizza to a cult, and she kind of gets like roped into their shenanigans. And my opening thoughts for this is I like the low budget vibe without a lot of like the negatives and typical like low budget stuff. Like really terrible practical effects. Like some of them are kind of cheesy, but they're not so bad. You're just like, oh my God, I'm watching Thanksgiving. Like it's cheese, but not over the top. That's what I like a lot about this film. What do you think of the opening thoughts for this, Adi?
Well, I was like, first of all, yo, this is like a satanic cultist booty call
Hell
session.
yeah.
No, I was actually pleasantly surprised by this. I didn't have like much expectations going into it. Like I remember you told me about it. I didn't like really look too deep into it. I just put it on and,
Mhm.
we'll see what the vibes are with this. It clearly looked like kind of like on the surface you may think it's like a B horror B movie.
Mhm.
And, it starts off that way and I'm like, okay, this is like, definitely feels like one of those early 2000 comedies, which you not, you know, get anymore.
Mm.
And then it builds in a really funny and weird way, and it gets like it has its moments of shock, and once you get into the plot with like what happens once she delivers or attempts to deliver in this fancy neighborhood, that's
Mm.
where things really like I was like down for the ride. It was really I enjoyed like the
Yeah.
twists and turns, and it was pretty good. I liked the humor in it. So I was
Yeah.
expecting this might be like a bit more on the serious, scary side, but I was
Right.
actually
No, no.
very
No.
pleased with the comedy in this. Although
Capital
I don't
D
think,
dark comedy.
yeah, I don't think the humor lands for everyone, but
No.
I found it refreshing for sure. I think it's like this is like a sort of film you don't see very common these days. And I think this is the first time we're reviewing like a movie that's direct to video or DVD. Like
Hmm.
it didn't have I don't think this movie had like a box office release anywhere. I think it was just straight to video
Yep.
on demand or whatever. So that's a
Yeah,
first for us.
yep. Yeah, they put it on VOD. Well, we have covered like TV shows and whatnot that are almost the length of a movie. But yeah, it's definitely a hidden gem, which sometimes that's what we cover on the Two Act podcast.
Yep.
Uh, and this was only filmed in 18 days. It was filmed in Dallas, Texas, over the course of 18 days, which is kind of crazy when you think of like all these like AAA budgets where they're like months, like almost like a
Oh,
year, and then
years.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then you have to do reshoots, or if you could you're like James Cameron and have to wait for like the technology.
Oh, yeah.
You
Like
you could
10 years.
literally be making the movie forever. Yeah, and then there was, because of the word satanic, a Walmart altered the slipcover for the Blu-ray release of the film.
I
They
did
shortened
read
it.
that.
They shortened the title to Panic, which the actual box art's still underneath it. It still has the pentagram and all that cute stuff.
I
And
guess Walmart didn't want to be, they didn't want to be exposed
they
for
didn't want Karens to get
promoting a
upset, I
film.
guess. They don't want Satan
Satanism.
to be on the shelves. Yeah. This type of movie is one I like to just put on since I've discovered it a couple of years ago. I just like to watch it like every Halloween. Like it's up there for me with all the classic horror films, the slasher films, and like I'll watch Saw once in a while, or like Nightmare on Elm Street or whatnot. And I'll put on Satanic Panic when I'm just looking for a good vibe, something to chill watch. And then along with like being a delivery driver is something I also resonated with because I was a pizza delivery driver and is like
Really?
one of the most dangerous jobs.
Oh,
Uh,
I
you
bet.
you can make a lot of money on tips. In fact, there was a time where I made $72 once on one order, and I was delivering like
Wow.
$500 in pizza. When in retrospect, I was probably getting stiffed, but it
Did you
became a
come?
whole
Did you
thing.
did you encounter any like weird
Mm.
high class society people
Oh my God, that would
on
have
the
been
road?
awesome. It would have been hope for the biggest tip. Uh, No, it was mostly just average folk, thank God, because where I lived, it was like a suburban area, and we didn't deliver that far out. There was like a cutoff, kind of like how Sam in the movie, she goes beyond the cutoff because she's not making any money that day. Because these pizza places, they're a chain or they're a mom and pop shop, and they pay these guys and gals
It was like
dog shit.
$2 15 cents.
It's fucking ridiculous. Like I
That's
was making
insane.
way more than that when I was delivering. That's because I worked at a place that was also like a buffet. So they did it all. I was
Right.
making pizzas, I was driving them out. This was before GPS, so you had to like learn maps, and it was a nightmare. And I didn't have a smartphone at the time, so I borrowed somebody else's smartphone so I could use GPS. And then I made like I was saying, a $72 tip, and I had to split that with the working staff because how who I am. I like to brag about dumb shit. I open my goddamn mouth.
You're a virtuous soul, God,
And then
John.
I don't know about virtuous. I am a braggadocious idiot at times, and I was like so proud that I got a big tip,
Uh,
and they were slaving away making these pizzas. So I kind of
you
was an
felt
asshole
bad.
for wanting to keep it myself. And then like my manager, he was like, "All right, I'm going to give you some money and then you give them some money so they don't want to kill you. And I was like, deal.
They didn't need to know. They didn't
I
need
know
to
they didn't need to
know.
know. And then I brought up the good point. Anytime I don't get a tip, are they going to give me a tip? You know, are the
True.
workers going to chip in $5 when I don't get anything? I doubt it. They're making the same money I am. They don't have that
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
And then another thing about this movie that really is up my alley is so I was into Anton LaVey Satanism when I was in high school, and all this
Wait,
shit
what's
just
that?
what's that? Okay, so what's that?
You gotta,
Um,
that's a lot to unpack. What do you mean by that?
okay, so Anton LaVey Satanism is like the left hand path. It was brought by Anton LaVey. He's like this guy that died in like the 90s. He developed a certain sect of Satanism along with like a bunch of other folks that are around. That's where like the Satanic Temple in the United States comes from. Now that sect they're usually more like atheistic. They like to put like a sigil, that statue of Baphomet, like in the White House or whatever. Not necessarily the White House, but like courthouses where they want to put like the Ten Commandments and stuff like that. So it was more about like worshiping yourself. Like your birthday was like your best thing. And then like because I'm like goth and I'm like 14, I'm like this is edgy. I want to be like the furthest from Christianity. I want to be a Satanist because that's metal. And
Damn, how did that go?
it was harmless. We didn't bleed on each other or anything. We didn't sacrifice a pig. You know, I'm a pacifist, so I don't want to hurt anybody. We tried to like put curses like on my ex-girlfriend's like mom, and they also had like a second book. We would go like in the Barnes and Noble and ask them if they had anything by my favorite author. I would tell them Anton LaVey, and they're like looking it up. And, like the titles are like Satan Speaks and the Satanic Bible, and I'm just giggling because it's like so evil. It's like a banned book. And we went into like this, now the place closed, but it was like a private bookseller that was like in a mall. And then like they got all like, whoo, they're clutching their pearls. They're all like scared. And that made me feel real badass. And then
Wow. Look at you, man. Quite the edgelord.
I'm the ultimate darkness. Yeah, that's what every kindergoth, every baby bat, like once you begin coming into like your own, as adolescent, you kind of discover, okay, maybe I'm not such a badass, but some of this cool, they got cool clothes. I'm all about that. I like a lot of like the costumes in this movie. They kind of remind me of something like I would have loved to wear when I was 14, just like a red hood. It's like my dream. Put on my
Yeah,
pentagram.
it kind of reminded me of like Eyes Wide Shut. I don't know if you ever watched that movie.
No, but I'm
Uh,
I'm familiar with the idea.
it's that Tom Cruise. It's actually Stanley Kubrick's final film.
Okay.
Starring Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman, and it's the similarities are that it's not about Satanism, but there is a cult.
Yeah, it's
There
like
is a
I'm
cult.
sure a rich society. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a rich society. There's a cult. He ends up like getting in, getting involved with this cult, and they all have there's like a massive like sex orgy happening. There's like naked chicks everywhere, and women with incredible tits. Yeah, it gave me that same vibe. They're all wearing hoods, and they're all like, you kind of feel like, oh shit, it's like something dark's gonna go down here. So the first 15, 20 minutes of the movie, I wasn't too sold on. I was like, it's like, oh, it's kind of like, I get like, I get the vibe, but
Mm.
I didn't like any character. I found all these other like characters really like
Insufferable.
exactly. And I'm sure
Yeah.
the beauty of that is you can relate to it because we've all at some point may have worked jobs with people who are like that,
Yeah, they're
insufferable.
creepers.
Yeah,
They're like
yeah, yeah.
trying to date you, and you're like, get the fuck away from me.
True, true. And it's like looking at it, I was just thinking, shit, like she just can't like what's her name? Sam,
Yep,
played
Sam.
by Haley Griffith. I've
Yeah.
never watched, so this is the first time I've ever like watched this actress. Like I've never seen her in other works. I don't know if she's still like You know, she's still
If she is
active.
working, she doesn't even have a Wikipedia page, so probably no.
That's what I realized as well looking into it. Although I do see her listed in like a few other films
Okay, so she
post
does have
2019.
some other experience.
I think there's like two other stuff that she's been in or
Okay,
three, but yeah, certainly I don't think she's like active. But
right.
I did sort of recognize some of the other actors,
Yeah, there are.
especially what's her name? Rebecca Romijn, who
Yep.
plays Danica.
Yeah,
She
the main head Satanist.
yes, the leader of the coven. I remember her because she was Mystique in the
Yep.
X-Men movies
Mm-hmm.
growing up. She was an absolute smoke show back then.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of my like kid moments where I was like, ooh, like you
Ooh,
know,
you're like
like
confused. You're like, ooh, form-fitting suit. Ooh, painted
it's kind
on.
of
Ooh.
is this kid friendly?
Yeah,
Am I dreaming?
like you kind of feel like you're getting away with something.
Yeah, yeah, it's funny. No, but I remember her. I think I also remember the other actor. I think his name's Jerry O'Connell. I think
Okay.
I've seen him. I've seen him in some like comedies, I think.
Okay.
Nothing that I can remember on the top of my head, but he has a very familiar face. So it's not a star-studded, like crazy star-studded
No.
cast, but I think that works in its favor because
Mm-hmm.
it's like helps you get into like the whole relatable aspect of, you know, these are just like at least like the good characters like Haley
Mm-hmm.
and who she's around. Like these are all like normal folks you'd see at like workplaces,
Mm-hmm.
especially her because she's like trying to make a buck. I think it starts off like with her.
She's trying to get a tip because she got
Yeah,
stiffed at the door. She's like, "All right, well, somebody give me," because another one of her coworkers gave her the idea because he was like, "Oh, I got stiffed at a place in there, and I just held out my helmet. I was like, come on, give me a tip," and that's how he got money. And she was like desperate because she didn't have any gas money because she had to pay like a
that kind
deposit
of
for the
didn't
thermal bag.
that made no sense to me. That made absolutely zero. So okay, I'm willing to forgive this
Yeah,
because end of the day, you know, movie has to be movie, and we need
right.
to get
You
on.
have to have something to
But
progress the plot. Yeah.
it made absolutely it left me a bit. I was a bit baffled by like why does she have to give her employer like a deposit for you
Yeah.
know the very equipment that is expected to be provided to their workers, you know,
Right, right.
and on top of that, why would you go somewhere when you know you don't have enough for gas to come
Right.
back? So I was a bit like confused by that. But again, I'm not nitpicking, you know, it's like I get it. Movie has to be movie.
Mhm.
Uh, in fact, I found that other character. He was a real prick. The was he the boyfriend or was he like the friend, the male friend who
I
was
think
like
he was the guy who that got her the job.
yeah, the guy who got her.
He's like
He had
creeping on
some,
her and he wants to like date her.
he had some really like cringe dialogue
Oh
that
yeah,
I
and he
made
has
me
like
really
the porno mustache and everything, and you're just like, get the fuck
yeah.
away from me.
And I think he's spilling like water or some shit on her, and she's like,
The fuck?
you know, I'm getting wet, and he's like, yeah, I have that effect on women. I'm like, bro, this is so fucking, this is so fucking like corny as fuck, and
Yeah.
dialogue's just so fucking funny. It's very sharp. Like
Yeah.
I did enjoy, I
Yeah,
enjoyed the
it definitely
dialogue.
feels like it's very punchy dialogue. Like some of my favorite lines are like, "For fuck's sake, they're about to bang me to death with a giant kildo." Like stuff like that. You're just like, a 50-year-old did not write that.
So that was the craziest moment for me in the whole movie when I saw that fucking drill dough. It
Yeah,
wasn't a
yeah.
kill though; it was a drill dough.
Yeah, there was this girl with a giant like cod piece on, and she's like trying to like kill this girl that's like tied up.
Fucking
And
crazy, man.
you find out the girl that they're trying to kill is the daughter of like the head cultist, and you're just like,
Yeah,
okay.
Judy, played
Yep.
by Ruby Moden.
And she does
Uh,
such a great job.
she's great. She
I
was
love all of her punchy
surprisingly.
dialogue.
Oh yeah. I got a few saved up that I'll bring up
Hell
later.
yeah.
But I found her to be like a pleasant surprise. If I'm not mistaken, the movie begins. It opens with this, doesn't it? It opens with a scene in this house where you don't see who, but there's like it's a POV shot of like someone walking in and seeing like there's this couple, having sex,
Mm-hmm.
and the dude just like runs for his life.
Because the
The
mom's like
daughter's
chasing
like,
him. Yeah.
yeah, and the daughter's like, I can explain. And you're like, oh well, it's kind of like, isn't this like your average American home? Where
Right.
parents
Where
walk
the
in on their,
girl's getting frisky and the parents aren't okay with that.
yeah, and I was
She's
like,
gonna get
okay, well,
pregnant.
and then it leads to Sam, who's like showing a busking video, or I think she wants to be an aspiring singer to her
The,
like workmates, and they were like laughing and mocking her about it. So
yeah, she has some like it was like folk music or something weird.
yeah,
It was like
busking,
so
I believe,
random. Yeah. It was very
is super
random.
random. Yeah, but like I guess the movie really kicks off when like she's like, fuck it, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to like
Right. To make a
make
buck.
a big make a big buck tonight being the
Yeah.
first night. And I think she accepts this job, which is like a bit far off. And
Yep.
I think her colleagues like, yeah, I went there as a pizza boy and I came back as a pizza man, something like that.
Because he like
I
walked
was
in
like,
on like an orgy
yeah,
and he like
it was
joined the
like
orgy. What the fuck?
something like that. And
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, this will be interesting.
All right. You're like,
And then
what is about to happen?
she's gonna go to like, the most obviously eerie, dirty, dilapidated house,
Right.
but it kind of subverted my expectations. He ends up going to like a really, really posh
Mm-hmm.
big estate, like with a mansion.
Mm-hmm.
The doors open up by themselves, and she goes through this beautiful garden and the runway, and then she arrives at the front door, and there's this like really weird looking dude staring at her. He just takes the pizza and like signs. I didn't understand that part. I thought they were meant to pay, but they just signed. Was it like,
No, if you pay with credit card, you can just sign.
oh, right. That
Yeah.
makes sense. I was like,
Yeah.
initially, I was like, why did he just sign for that? But then, yeah, she notices he doesn't tip her
Come on,
zero.
Adi. Everybody pays with credit card. We don't carry cash.
Yeah, well, before that, there was a montage though. I don't know if you remember where she's going around all these places,
Right. And they're like giving her
and
like weird tips, like, hey,
yeah, they're
take my dead husband's fucking sweater. It's like,
yeah. It
okay.
was the racist lady who thought she was Mexican,
Right.
and
It's
she's
like,
like,
what the fuck?
and then she goes, she encounters another dude called Sam, and he's like, it's the code of the Sams. Would you be willing to lend me a hand?
Yeah, you gotta help me move this couch into my house. Because my name's Sam too.
That's like a bit random, but sure. She helps him out.
Yeah.
And who else? I think she like, oh yeah, there's another guy there's another woman who she delivers to, and this woman has a very interesting request. She's like, you willing to piss on my, what
Yeah,
was it, husband, partner? And then
yeah. She's at a
I
hotel.
just went
Yeah.
and like, I'll pay for it. Like, I'll pay you 12
Right.
bucks.
Yeah, $12 to pee on this guy. I was like, what the fuck?
I was surprised she turned it down. I was surprised she
Right.
turned it down. I was like, so where does the line
Well,
where
12
does the
bucks to
line
piss
cross?
on somebody, Adi. That's not enough money. You got to get like $1,200 to piss
No,
on somebody.
she didn't have to piss on anyone. She just had to like give the piss.
No.
Not the same thing.
It was insinuated that she had to pee on him.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Because I read it as
Okay.
I'll
You read
give
it as
you.
she had to like piss and she'd throw it on
Yeah,
him. That's not good
yeah.
enough. It's about the act. It's not about the actual piss.
The whole deal. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bit too much then. That's a way.
Hey, different
That's a
strokes for
way to
different
go.
folks.
Different strokes for different folks.
Yep.
That could be a fucking motto of a company.
Hell yeah. Well, yeah, everybody's into something weird.
Yeah, kinks, kinks and shit.
Mhm. Yeah, like
I
these
like
these people like to attack each other with giant kildos, you know?
but that's what I liked about what that because like when I watched that montage, I think it's very clever that they added that before the movie starts with the main plot because
Right.
it kind of reflects like the amount of weird people you come across when you work in like
Like a
jobs like
customer
customer
facing.
service, yeah, customer service or
Yeah.
hospitality
Oh yeah.
related roles. Yeah, you come across a bunch of weird people.
Mhm.
Like I remember looking at an ad for a pizza delivery guy, and it literally said part of the job involves self-defense and being able to defend yourself against violent people.
Well, you might have a dog or
Because like
something too.
because like apparently you got to deliver in certain neighborhoods that are like really rough, tend to
Yeah,
have
I
like high
would
crime
refuse.
rates.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, that's so fucking surreal to read that a job, especially in today's economy where people are like crazy and, struggling to get jobs. And, there's a job advert here which literally is telling you, yeah, we'll pay you minimum wage, but you got to be able to learn self defense and fight off like bad people.
Well, I
And
was
we're not
told you
going to
just
pay
you
any.
just give them the money. If you ever approach, just give them the money. It's not worth it.
That's crazy.
And
It's never worth it. It's
right.
never worth it. But
And
it's
that's what
it's
I
just
would do.
crazy. It's so surreal. It's just so bizarre that that's being normalized. And then when I watch this montage and she comes across all these weirdos, or like who all have their own like weird shit. Like one's racist, one's fucking kinky, the other one's is weird. And I'm like, yeah, that's actually not so far from reality because
Mhm.
all these people they all exist in plain sight, and they're probably all like going into ordering stuff and all these workers have to like come across people like this. So I thought it was completely, I wouldn't say accurate or anything, but it's possibly believable for me.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
wouldn't be
My
surprised.
favorite customer were the ones that were
Mm.
high because I always tip the best.
Yeah. Hey, bro, I
Yeah.
fucking love you, bro.
Give you a 20 and you're like, I love you too, bro. I ain't coming in your house, but I love you too, bro.
Yeah. And that's where things spice up. She arrives at this person's door,
Mhm.
rich house, doesn't tip her. She's pissed. She like walks away. She thinks about it, but then she decides. I think she tries to go, but her
Breaks into the
bike,
goddamn house.
yeah, her bike
The
wouldn't
door's not
start. For
locked.
some reason. No, but she tries to leave though, doesn't she?
Yep.
But her bike
It
doesn't
doesn't start,
start.
so that gave her like the
It's
kick in the pants to
motivation.
yep,
Yeah,
to become a part of the
she's like,
plot.
yeah, yeah, literally like break in, trespass, fuck it, which I thought was funny. And then she ends up like breaking in ironically breaking in like a weird a coven dressed in like red hoods
Mhm.
and
And they got pentagram pendants,
I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
and they're chanting and all that, and I'm like, "Hell yeah."
That's the only thing I knew about the movie was that, pizza delivery girl goes to deliver pizza, something weird happens. So after at this point, I was like, okay, I don't know now what to expect. It could be like anything can happen, right?
Right.
But it was interesting what happens because she's like trying to rationalize, like, hey, like, I'm just looking for some tips so I can, make my way and leave. And people are like, who are you? What are you doing here? And somehow that leads to them finding out that she's a virgin,
Yeah, she's like,
which
"That's a very personal question."
she keeps saying that every
Yeah,
time
she's a
she's around.
virgin.
And this is what turns into what one of the characters in the movies says is situational irony. And she's like, this is where like, oh, this is unexpectedly becomes integral to our plan for tonight. Oh, we found the perfect we found the perfect virgin out of nowhere. Let's kidnap her and keep her hostage.
Yeah, because originally they were going to use her daughter,
Yeah.
but she had sex at the beginning of the movie, so that can't happen.
Yeah, that ruins the whole plan. She wakes up in the basement with like another dude. It was a pretty funny, it's a
He's
pretty wild
skeevy.
moment.
Yeah. He's like one of their husbands. I think he's like the main girl's husband.
Yeah, he's Danica's husband,
Yep.
the guy Jerry
Oh,
O'Connell.
yep.
Samuel, that's his name. So
Another
he's
Sam.
the another Sam. Yeah, a lot of Sams in this. Certainly not the worst, but he intends to save her life, but he tries to do something like really horrible.
Yeah, reprehensible is definitely a good word for it. He's
Yeah,
like, oh, well, if we have sex, then you won't be sacrificed to be the Baphomet's mom. Because
yeah, and she's
Baphomet
like,
can only be born of a virgin. Because they're going to do like a satanic ritual.
she's just like, what the fuck is going on? What do you mean? You know,
Which,
like I just want to get out. Like try to find a way to leave. He's like, no, you don't understand. This like, there's no hope for a virgin. And then she's like, that's a really personal question. What do you think of that whole scene?
I like that line. It just shows her like innocence. She's like she doesn't know what she's getting into, and like she'll like try to do like all the typical stuff you would expect out of your protagonist in the movie, and it's just foiled at every aspect just because she's like a normal girl. She's not a part of this world.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And like, I think that her innocence, maybe like she's a bit too innocent the whole time because I think she like means well and like hopes like for the best, but then
Right. She gives them all the benefit of the doubt and
she does.
realizes
Yeah.
that adults are just evil. They're out for themselves.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, because then he's like he tries to like sexually assault her to save her life, which is like in itself is like weird and like you said reprehensible. And then the next thing you know, it's a pretty funny scene what he tries to do because he pulls out a gun and he
Mhm.
tries to shoot her and he's like, oh fuck, like it's not working. And then he does something stupid. He points it towards himself.
Yep. And it goes
He
off.
he shoots himself in the neck. What a fucking idiot. And
I'm sure you laughed pretty hard.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I was like,
You're like, oh, thank
what?
God. She didn't get sexually
Yeah.
assaulted. Thank God.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I was like, fuck. Well, this is like weird. This is taking a weird turn. But it turns out like, you know, he actually was trying to like help her out.
Yeah. He
Although
meant well,
he meant well, but obviously very questionable.
but he's also
Uh,
fucked in the head like the rest of the cultists.
yeah, well, he's fucking married to the head of the cultists, so
Right.
but then they show up and stuff, and yeah, I think that's where like the plot really starts to kick in, and
Yeah, where
he manages to
Sam gets into another mansion and then finds a babysitter, and then
yeah,
the babysitter's gonna like call the cops and like help her out, and she's like, "Here, drink this," and she's like, "Ah," sets it down. One of the kids drinks it, fucking just dies or like passes out or whatever, and then like she sees what the kids are watching. They're like watching like a brutal horror movie, and she's like, "Should you
yeah,
really be watching?" And then like
definitely not PG-13.
no. These kids are like 6 or 7, like 8 years old. Like they're really little. And
Yeah,
one of them like tries to like tase her, and she's like running upstairs, and then she finds that chick with the kildo drilldo, and
drilled up.
yeah, and then like in happenstance,
I don't know. You may have seen it multiple times. Like, did you when you saw that babysitter character? Did you think, oh, like she's actually
trying to help.
uh
No, I didn't think that for a second. No. because she was a little
Yeah,
off kilter. I was just like,
very off kilter.
yeah. I was like,
Um, I was getting like
yeah,
nervous laughter from just like her
yeah.
behavior,
Yeah, I'm just
her
like,
way of speaking, and I was just like,
yep.
kind of reminded me of this Martin Scorsese movie called After Hours, which is about this
Mm.
guy who's just like trying to get. I think he's trying to get back home, or he's trying to get to a particular place, but he can't help but stop encountering weirdos all night who either try to chase him, kill him, trap him, or some shit. And the whole thing's just like him trying to navigate through this madcap night where that shit just like hits the roof no matter like what he does. And I was like, this is definitely the vibe I'm getting with like with her character. Like she's just not gonna have, no matter what, she's just not gonna have an easy night tonight. And shit's about to go down. And then the drill dough thing happens. I was like, what the fuck? I've never
Yeah,
seen that sort of.
at this point in the film, this is where I'm laughing really fucking hard
Yeah.
because it's like it's something so over the top. Like you're like, what? Like the
Yeah.
only thing you can do is laugh because it's so like insane.
It is.
And
It
then
is. It's
Sam like avoids an attack, and then she impales her sister, and they both get electrocuted because of the wiring in the wall. I'm like,
yeah.
hell yeah.
It's so fucking funny. And she's got like blood all over her face,
Hmm.
and she's like, we should call the cops, and then she's like her clothes are like torn off
Hmm.
by that guy. So she's like
I could see your
wearing a
tits.
great rack, by the way, I must say. I, I can't deny that. I gotta give her that. I mean, a great performance, but also that. And
Hmm.
it was like she definitely gets her alien moment
Right.
where you see Riley. Is that the name of the character?
Oh,
Like,
Ripley.
Ripley, not Riley.
Yep.
Ripley.
Yep.
Ripley moment.
Yep. Yep.
Ripley moment. Played by Sigourney Weaver.
Yep. Ridley
Uh,
Scott. Yep. Badass. Yep.
yeah, badass for sure. And then she ends up like leaving that house and ends up going
And
to another house.
saving Judy because was going to be their
Oh
victim.
yeah, true, true. Because she
Yep.
walks in and she finds Judy
She's like a girl just like strapped to a bed with like ready to get
hogtied.
plowed. Yeah.
Yeah, literally hogtied,
Hmm.
butt naked. And this is like, what the fuck is going on? And this is like, I would say, one of the best characters in the movie for sure.
Yeah, she steals the show for sure.
Yeah, because they meet up. They're kind of a mismatch because Sam's more like quirky and soft,
Yeah,
and
yeah. She's
Judy's like
very girl
more,
next door, very too
yeah,
good.
too good. And Judy's like the complete opposite.
Yeah,
She's
she's
like
edgy,
sassy, edgy.
not afraid to cock her mouth.
No, no, instantly criticizes her Kmart bra. But then immensely gains a lot of respect for her when she sees that she fucking killed both those sisters
He was like, nice.
with the dildo. It's like, wow, this is impressive. And yeah, and then they end up going to that they end up going to another house. There's a lot of
Mhm.
houses in this movie that they end up going in,
A lot
but
of free mansions.
a lot of free mansions. I What I liked about the movie up till this point was the pacing. I know it's only like a very lean and mean
Yeah, 80
80
minutes.
minutes,
Hmm.
which I think is great, by the way. We need more like shorter, like
Features
punchy.
that aren't
Yeah,
long. Yeah.
because I feel like every movie that comes out today almost has despite there being no real good reason unless it really helps the plot.
Right,
I'm seeing
which
every movie is trying to be
very
like two
rare.
hours. Yeah,
Yeah, and
every movie's
we
like,
don't have 6 hours to watch a fucking movie. That's like your whole day.
yeah, it is.
Yeah,
It
and I
is
think it's probably because of streaming where they have to like make it longer so you're on their platform longer.
engagement.
Yep,
That's what it is.
engagement. And you got to watch 8 hours of this TV show that will make you watch it every week. Just like fuck.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. but that's what I enjoyed about it. I thought the
I
pacing,
agree.
I think it works well with the sharp, punchy dialogues and how that also, helps with moments of like the horror and gore. And I think this is the bit that I was kind of like, ooh, like creepy. Like there's a lot of like gore out of nowhere. This is like
Where
it,
she like digs inside her husband's
yeah,
like body to pull out a
yeah,
heart,
yeah, yeah.
and you're just like, what the fuck?
That's so fucking like gnarly and like
Hmm.
ugh. Like there's a lot of gnarly shit happening, but I must say, I really, even though there's certain scenes where like, I think some scenes where they're running in the forest near the trees, and there's like a demon or like
Like
a
tree.
crazy tree monster.
Yeah, yeah,
That bit looked like a bit like obvious, like it was like
yeah, yeah. Or
it
the
was,
Hexen cloak where it looks like she's getting like strangled.
yeah, no, but actually I was impressed by the Haxan cloak. I
Okay,
thought like
you like that?
yeah, I like that. I like that. I thought like I was quite impressed by the special effects in the movie because I know like this I don't know what the budget is for the movie. I don't think there's any information about how
No
much they had,
information.
but it seems to me that if I had to speculate, it probably could be just like a million or under a million. I wouldn't be
Right.
surprised.
It's
But I was
peanuts.
I was yeah, for today's film, for even a independent film, that's crazy. But I was quite impressed by, the special effects in the movie. I thought it had this like quality to it, which is like, it's special effects, but it's done well. It's not done too cheap. Even though you can tell like, that's not how blood looks or,
Right, or that's not how that works.
yeah, yeah. But I like I guess the surrealism to it. It sort of helps with the whole weird shit, with the
Yeah, and
whole
that
cult
they
angle.
actually have black magic that actually works. And it's not just for show. You're just like fucking like drawing like on her like with a Sharpie.
Yeah, that was fucking crazy, man.
And then
That
she's
whole
like
scene,
puking out worms. Yeah, that was ridiculous.
that was insane. And that's been cross-cut with like the cult trying to kill her
Yeah,
by,
they're doing like voodoo.
basically,
They like got her
yeah,
hair.
yeah, yeah, got her doll and like fucking, what are you trying to torture it, which in very
Yeah, yeah,
obviously is torturing her. And there's this one scene where like there's like fucking nails or like some shit growing out of her nails, and it's
yeah,
like thorns. And I'm like, fuck,
yeah.
like
They're
this looks
yeah. It's
so.
the needles out of like acupuncture.
Yeah, yeah, it's needles. It's needles. It's brutal, brutal. But also, this is the moment where like they both are like bickering and like Sam's like, why can't we just like call 911 or get out and seek help? And she's like, you're an idiot. You have no idea like what these people are capable of.
Right.
Like they're not gonna. I think this is where I'll bring up one of the dialogues. So fucking funny.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't stop laughing at this one piece of dialogue. She's like, "You're like a big." This is what Judy tells Sam. "You're like a big retarded baby. My mom and her butt buddies are booty calling Baphomet, and we're gonna hide in here like scared little bitches because they could turn your liver into fire ants. If they find us, they're not gonna kill us. They're gonna do shit that you can't comprehend. And they're not gonna stop until you're strapped naked, butt naked, to a barbed wire altar with the 15-foot beast of Gehenna and his double-pronged demon dong walking out of your coochie chute like it's a revolving door of ground beef." Like, what the fuck?
And that was
This
all
is
one
just
shot.
fucking yeah, yeah, just keeping a straight face while saying this, and I couldn't stop laughing. Like, it's just so
Yeah,
fucking
no, it's
ridiculous.
awesome. Yeah.
It's so fucking ridiculous. And I think this is where like the humor like lands for me. Like
Yeah.
it's good, like it's a good combination of like
Mhm.
dialogue with some of the horror stuff.
Mhm.
Uh Although I wasn't like scared.
No,
You
no.
know, I was
Well,
just,
it's hard to ec- exceptionally do horror, and
yeah,
it's leans more into like the dark comedy.
it does. It does. And it got me thinking like, comedy horror is like it's a crazy balance to be able to
Yeah,
do that
and I have a lot more where that came from that will be right up your alley.
because usually it's like taking two complete opposites and trying to make them work. So yeah, I thought it was pretty cool that they did that. Although you can make arguments about like the story and stuff, but I
Yeah,
was
but
just like enjoying the humor of it and the weirdness of it more than anything.
mm,
There's like this nervous laughter that I had watching this
yeah, it's a
whole
good
watch.
family movie. You know, you put it on the home TV, invite your
Hey,
parents
I don't know
over. I'd
about
watch this with my
family,
dad.
man.
My dad would
I
probably
don't
be,
know.
he'd
I
probably be
don't know
laughing.
about. I don't know about family, but it's definitely an interesting watch, whether you see it alone or with someone else. And you don't get, I mean, I could totally see why this would be like completely buried in like a sea of other, straight to demand movies that come out. Like it's so, like I probably never like
Yeah,
watched
we
this movie.
streamed it and we had to buy it on Amazon.
Mm, right, right.
That's the
Yeah.
way I had to end up doing. Like, you have to jump through hoops to watch this. It sucks. You just have to own it, which is the worst. But oh well, it's not for everybody.
No, definitely
But
not.
it
But
is. It's a good time. I do want to do a shout out. My favorite cultist. My favorite
your favorite
cultist.
covers. We didn't really cover much of the cultists though. We should
Yeah,
talk about their
they
storyline.
got a bunch of weirdos. You got the gypsy with the blue like bandana,
I thought
and
she was the
she's
most like retarded character
yes,
in the
yeah. I
whole.
think she was specifically written so you hate her. She's so like useless, and even when she like tries to kill Dianica, and then she finds out she failed.
Yeah,
She
she
has
gets
like another one like try to like kill her with
her head,
like one of
a
those.
skull gets pierced by a fucking large
It's an ice
nail,
pick, ice
ice
pick.
pick.
Yeah, it's what they
Fucking
would
hell!
use
I
in
was like,
so during the when you get the lobotomy, that's what they'd use. They use one of those and a hammer for your
damn,
like frontal lobe inside your eyeball. That's what they would do in the I think it was like looks like the 40s and the
holy shit,
50s.
holy
Yeah,
shit.
no, it's fucking metal. But yeah, so they do that and then she does voodoo magic and doesn't die, which you're like, cool. I don't care.
She
She's
just
a
doesn't
better
she
way
like?
better character.
Oh yeah, way better antagonist.
Yeah.
But also before that, she gets one of her colleagues to like take her husband's heart and like
Yeah.
put it in an oven to bake it
Yes, and
or
that the
some
one that
shit.
she gave the heart to, that's my favorite cultist. Uh Danielle
Oh,
is the
that
best
one.
cultist. She's all dressed in goth. Her only lines are when they're chanting in the ritual. I'm like, "Oh, she's so dreamy. She's such a cutie." Like Judy is a
But
cutie, but
I didn't
she's
have
my favorite.
you fantasizing God Satanist in my
Yeah.
bingo card.
Yep.
So
Yeah, like now I would say I'm just straight up just atheist, but it's just because we're like religion's like not a big deal to me. But like Satanism, in fact, like when it's really over the top Satanism, it hits my funny bone just the right because I just remember being that goofy. I just like I love all that stuff. Like any movie where like Satanists are involved, I'm like I got to check this out because this might be amazing. Which
yeah.
thankfully I watched this film and I was like, this is actually kind of good.
Yeah.
And even my girl is like, I like that movie. Let's watch that again. And we did.
So the thing that I liked the most about this movie was not so much the fact that it was a horror comedy, but
Right.
more so the fact that how dumb and idiotic this cult is because
Yeah.
like once they fuck up on like trying to do the ritual they're trying to do, they
Right.
start like turning on each other and they start like bickering and fighting and you see double
Mhm.
crossing, you see like Gypsy tries to kill Danica and then it's like, the way that unravels, it just really shows you like how idiotic these people are, but they exist because they're part of a high class society
Right. They're all
where,
rich.
they're all rich. So they can have their weird kinks and fucking desires and, do their dog shit
Mhm.
in society. And most people wouldn't even like notice. So
Right.
that bit was like what I found the most like funniest to see. Like I was kind of like thinking, oh shit, maybe, the film will take a bit more of a serious turn here and it'll try to really like paint the cult as like they're really, coming for them and it's going to be really evil. But it kind of subverts that because it shows you how fucking delusional these people are. And there's like power play struggles happening and politics within, which,
Mhm.
makes it very funny to watch. So that I wanted to point out for sure about like one of the strong suits for the movie. And I think that works because like when they try to kill Danica, I was like, shit, like they killed off like one of the better characters. I would be quite disappointed if the movie actually killed her off and had just Gypsy as the main villain. Because I
Right.
think
She's
that would
bumbling.
like
Yeah, that
she's
would
just
definitely have taken the movie down, and you wouldn't have been, as acknowledging that they could,
no.
summon their demon.
Yeah. And I also enjoyed that scene where like Danica tries to find where Sam is, and then she finds her phone, and then she calls that friend.
Yep. Yeah, the fucking creeper. She's like, yeah, I got an 8 ball of Coke and I need a big, strong man to, just load me up. And then he's like, oh, yeah, you want to see how big my Peter is? Oh, yeah. Most girls, they can't handle me.
Oh my god, that bit was so fucking funny. And then he actually shows up. He's like a fucking he's like a gigolo.
Yeah, he's a
And
fucking horn dog. Yeah.
yeah. And then like she's like making him do, making him do like coke and shit.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know, I need
He's like
some beer, like
kind of hesitant. You got a beer?
and then brutally fucking kills him off. Pretty sure
Oh,
he's
yeah.
dead because
Oh,
he
yeah.
literally
Which he
pulls.
deserved it. He's a piece of shit.
Yeah, but it's crazy how like she had to literally pull out his guts to be able to tell like where Sam is and get that information out by like some weird mystical shit
And then
or some
that's when they try
crazy.
to kill Dianica, and they're like, can you read guts? No, I can't read guts. She could read guts. Just like so like inept.
Yeah, and they literally kill her when she's about to tell them where they are.
Yeah.
And that's the moment where like she gets her head fucking pierced with an ice pick. So
Mhm.
yeah, funny for sure. And then that's when you think, oh fuck, like now they're gonna like kind of reminded me like of that scene from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood where
Okay.
those cultists go to like the house and they
Yeah,
come
they're all
across
trying to
Brad
fuck with
Pitt.
Brad Pitt, and then he just
Yeah.
punches him right in the throat.
Yeah, but they're just a bunch of like hillbillies or
Yeah, they
delusional
don't know what they're doing.
and they don't know what they're doing. That's certainly the vibe I got. These guys are just delusional. But that's where like the movie gets more like more spooky or tries to get more like into the whole cultist thing with the whole ritual in the end.
Oh, that
It's
ritual is
like,
so fucking cool. It's so well lit. And they're like on the altar. And in fact, like underneath them, they have, I don't know how much you would acknowledge, like recognize this, but underneath them, they're sitting on like a cloth that has the sigil of Baphomet on it, which is the sigil that's on the front of the cover of the Satanic Bible, which I was like, oh, I know that.
oh shit.
So they were
No,
using the
I
real
wouldn't.
symbols.
Yeah, that's what I was really curious about.
Hmm.
Like, because they're saying some like words and shit. They're doing these
Yeah, like
things.
I don't know how much of it is like written, but Baphomet's like just another name for Satan. So it is what
Okay,
it is. Yeah.
so it's not. Would you say it's like entirely like mystical or like
Sure.
myth?
There's a million sects of whatever Satanism you practice, and whatever
Damn.
Satanism practice they practice had, Baphomet at the top.
Holy shit. Well, I was like wondering like fuck like how are they like actually are they making this shit up or
Yeah.
they're
So
actually
if you ever get a chance to watch The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, they have a lot of that Satanism shit in there. And
okay.
they do Lucifer is the devil. So that's more like the biblical, like Christian Bible. This one they don't do that at all. They don't even acknowledge God. They got witchcraft and Baphomet.
Yep. Yeah, these guys there's no like I found that funny because usually there's always a sort of a religious angle to these sort of storylines, but the only thing they tried was like they said salt.
Yes. So they're
Ironically,
superstitious assault.
yeah, and that's what Judy and Sam once they get attacked by the
Yeah, they
hexen
start
cloak and
putting it on the windows and in the door because
the
the devils
doors.
and demons they have to count the grains of salt. That's a superstition, and
Yeah, the
that is a
grain.
superstition. So for like the jinn and like evil spirits and stuff like that.
Right, right. I was curious to know, like, you know, what are they gonna like? At this point, I was really wondering that shit. Is there gonna be like an actual finale with a fucking real demon character showing up? Like, how are they gonna do this? Do they even have the budget for it? Is this
No,
gonna
they
be
don't.
like
They definitely do not have the budget for it. That's why
exactly?
when all the characters die, they just gassed.
Yeah, no, they obviously they get gas, but before that part, I think you know once Danica finds out, like shit, like you know I know where they are,
Mhm.
and she traces them. She finds it's actually Judy who baits Gypsy
Mhm.
into coming to the home. At this point, I was actually wondering, like, shit, is he actually selling out, or she's just like luring her into taking the bait so that they can escape, create a diversion. And then obviously Danica finds Judy and Sam, and I think she tells Sam like, you know, what are you gonna offer her besides plastic shower curtains and Walmart pajamas or some shit. And then Sam's like, all I see are a bunch of Martha Stewart wannabes who drink white wine and smoke medical marijuana and listen to 80s playlists. And that's like such a fucking weird, funny thing to say for them to have that. And also Judy earlier, who tells Sam like, "Oh, you know, you're a blue collar badass who just won't quit, and I'm a spoiled brat with a gun. They don't stand a chance." Another piece of memorable dialogue.
Yeah.
The only criticism I had perhaps was with the way they kind of handled Sam's backstory in that scene where
Mm.
she's like trying to use the Sharpie to save Judy's life with
Yep.
you know, doing the ritual to protect her while she's being attacked. And she ends up like going on this
The two fuzzy
backstory.
bunny mantra. Yeah.
Yeah, and then she talks about her backstory about like her
Surviving
partner
cancer.
and
Yep.
surviving cancer. That bit I didn't quite
Yeah,
get.
that does feel a little tacked on.
It felt it felt out of place, or it felt like they could have handled it better. Like I understood, like they wanted to give her this dimension to
Right.
this character, like make it a bit more than just you know wrong place, wrong time story about you know unlucky girl. Like actually, you know, give weight to her character as maybe someone who's been through hard time.
Right.
I didn't feel it was executed really well in the script. Maybe you know they could have handled it a bit better, or they could have done something to like not have it just as
Right. Or just omit it.
expository
Don't
dialogue.
necessarily need it. Yeah.
Yeah, it just felt like, you know, dialogue trying to fill in information that's meant to be like integral and emotional, but it just felt off while they were doing it. Like I get like it was like trying to sneak it in during an intense scene and all that,
Right.
but it just didn't really it
Right
didn't do
before the final act, you gotta add in some dialogue.
yeah, yeah. But that was like the only thing that I didn't understand from like the writing point of view. But the rest, like, look, I vibe with the whole, you know, the sharp tongue-in-cheek dialogue and
Mhm.
the ridiculousness of it all, and then that being kind of married with all this fucking weird horror gory shit happening with the rituals and everything. But I think it sets up an interesting third act for sure, because that whole altar and all that fucking looked insane.
Yeah, it looked
That
awesome.
looked
You got the flaming pentagram like that. Just
Yeah.
like it's
They really
perfect
saved they really saved most of the budget for that third
just for
act,
the
I
set.
reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for the set and the costume and all these weird half naked people and
You got
usually
an
apparel.
orgy happening, and they're also
Yeah.
chanting. What was the thing they chanted, like "all for me" or something? I can't remember what the
I
thing.
don't know. I can't remember on the top of my head, but I do remember. It's funny because there's like, so they themselves have barricaded the area where the ritual happens with salt. And when Danica kills Gypsy,
Mhm.
literally, I thought that was a cool death. I thought it was a
Yeah.
really cool death. Actually, like, gets her to like sink and choke and like water overflowing her eyes, and like, even though it kind of looks like it's not realistic, but I thought it's pretty cool. Cool way to kill someone, like, to do something like that. I didn't expect that, but she ends up like falling on the edge, and like
Yep.
she breaks the salt lining, which is
Yeah.
like the
The one thing
the
keeping all the demons out. We don't want
yeah.
any unwanted
How
guests.
ironic how ironic is that, right? That these demon cultists have to like barricade their own rituals from like other demon forces from entering in. And but at this point, like, what shocked me the most was obviously the bit where I thought, again, that was a bit funny how she like breaks free from the altar, Sam, and
Yeah,
she's
and
like
she like looks
fucking
pregnant, like she's about to give
yeah,
birth to Baphomet.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know
it's
if that
fucking
was like
crazy.
the actor being pregnant or if it was a fact or something. It
No, it
looked
was a
good.
fact. It was a fact.
Okay, it looked
It
good.
was
It looked good.
definitely a fact.
Okay.
It was not real, but like, yeah, she like somehow breaks free. I don't know how. It's a bit random, but the bit that surprised me was like Judy getting killed off. Like, I didn't see that
Yeah, that
coming.
sucked.
That really sucked.
Yeah,
That really
Diana
sucked.
slashes her throat because
Yeah,
uh because she's like threatening to kill the Baphomet baby with the knife on her belly.
yeah. I just think, like, why would, like, how is that gonna not want her to stab herself?
Right.
Because like that's the only leverage. It was like the leverage you have is Judy. So why would you fuck around and then also the mother of her own daughter killing her daughter.
Well,
So
she kind of she was already going to sacrifice her kid. So
yeah, she's
I don't she
psych.
had a bad relationship with her kid anyway.
Yeah, no, no, she was off her rocker, but it was still shocking though. I
Right.
didn't wasn't expecting. So I expected both of them to make it out alive, and that would be like a Sinners type ending, I suppose. But that's not what happens, and what happens is something very interesting. You want to go ahead and describe it?
Okay. So she's going into labor and she's saying that two fuzzy bunny thing. And then
Yeah,
she's about to she then gives birth to two fuzzy bunnies rather than Baphomet as intended,
yeah,
to the
which is like
shock of the
weird.
coven.
Shock, completely shocked.
Yep. And then Sam finally she's in like an empty like field with this little girl who she finds out is a demon named Samizel.
How eerie was that, though?
Yeah, yeah. No, I like that. I like so kid actors usually suck, but this one did amazing job.
Yeah,
Like I'm
really fucking
giggling watching
menacing and
her. Yeah, just evil. And it's funny because you see her at like the beginning of the movie, like she's just playing and she's like waving.
yeah.
Yeah, and then so Sam
She managed,
Azazel explains that she's like a higher ranked demon to Baphomet. She's like a prince of hell, and
and she's butthurt that they weren't worshiping
they're
her.
worshiping Baphomet and not her.
Yeah,
So she's like, okay, everybody's gonna die. And then Sam's like at the last second of the film is just like, okay, all right, go to Sam's. And she's like, "You're lying. You're
No,
poopy
no. First,
face."
first she says, "Oh, like I didn't do anything wrong. Like,
All right.
can I just leave?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "No, we'll kill you. We'll kill you the quickest of them
Yeah.
all."
Because I like you, you'll die first.
Yeah, yeah, and
We'll
we'll
give
make
you
it quick.
a painless death.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. And she's like, but like I didn't do anything wrong." And then she's like,
Right.
"Go to the Sams," and it references back to that early scene in the montage where
Right.
she delivers to that guy
And she
who
also
has
tries to
busted
do
up.
Code of the Sams on the guy that was about to essay her because
Oh
he's also a
yeah,
Sam. Yeah, yeah. So
yeah,
this
yeah,
Code of
yeah.
the Sams thing keeps coming back because her name is
It
Samantha
does.
and she's another Sam. And then
Yeah, I don't
just
know how intentional that was with the script, but
oh, I'm
it's
sure it
cool that
was.
they did.
Yeah, it was a big ass pull, but it was a nice callback
Yeah,
to
it
that
was.
shitty guy with fucking moving that shit into his house, Code of the Sams, because he wanted to
Yeah,
move that shit in. Yeah. And then so like all the coven members just die. And so it any movie with a budget, it would have been like some like crazy blood display. It would have been that scene in the hell is that last really bloody movie we watched?
Suspiria. You
Suspiria.
seen Suspiria?
No, 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 no. We covered it on the pod. It was The Substance. Like that bloody scene in the
Yes.
sub that like
Yeah.
that's now The Substance came way later, but that's kind of what you're expecting, like some like crazy display of blood. But
Yeah, really
they
visceral and
probably used all
yeah.
their budget just on that set design and getting writers the punchy dialogue and making sure all these
'Cause that
like
the Attica gets decapitated, doesn't she?
yeah. And then all the other coven members are choking to death on a gas, and Sam collects one of the bunnies, and she's like, the other having been killed, escapes on her Vespa and waves goodbye to Samazel. And she returns to her pizzeria where she named the bunny Judy Jr. And she says, "I quit to her boss. I'm going to Australia with Judy Jr." And that's the end of the
Yeah,
movie.
and that's the end of the movie. She makes it out alive.
Yeah.
And again, how ironic is it that the Vespa magically kickstarts the first go when she has to leave?
Right, right. Just it
And
was contrivance for the plot.
yeah, it's funny. But yeah, she makes it out alive, and it's like that's she escapes. I think it's quite you see that quite often with like certain horror movies where
Mm.
good guys always manage to
Well, there's that
escape
trope of the
shit.
final girl, the girl
Yeah, the
that's,
final girl.
she's a virgin, she's survived everything, she becomes a badass, the final girl.
Yeah, the final
That's always a
girl.
fun thing to see in horror and dark comedies.
Yeah.
Where they put the headband on and they wipe the blood all off their face.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm all about
Yeah.
that. I always like that in a horror movie, whether or not it's, something you can't kill like Jason or something unkillable. Good
Yeah.
times.
Good time. Good time. For sure. But overall, quite an enjoyable one.
Hmm. You ready to go into ratings?
Sure.
I'll let you go first.
Cool, cool. Okay. So I thought it was, again, pleasantly surprised. Really loved the humor and how that it was refreshing to see, a lower budget movie that sort of handled it well. It starts off thinking it's going to be a very cheap BC movie, but it gets like better. I enjoyed the pacing of it and the horror elements. I thought some of the performances were great, particularly I thought the members of the cult were really funny because they were really, you know, delusional and retarded. And I liked Judy was the MVP.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, she gets killed off. It's a good balance of gore and comedy, and its pacing for 80 minutes or 90 minutes is really great.
Hmm.
Just few things with some tonal shifts and some bits, didn't quite work with like trying to make the character of Sam feel a bit more whole, but nothing that kind of ruined my watch. Sometimes it's good to like catch up on movies that are just, not you're not expecting anything crazy, but you're getting what you're getting a good meal out of it. I thought it was like funny how there's this contrast of like class and working class and how like that works against wealthy people who are elite and their boredom and what they do. It's actually a sharp like class commentary without getting too preachy. That's what I'll say I
And
like
not like a Boots
overall.
Riley joint.
No. Well, that's more in your face for sure. But
Yeah.
I liked it. I'm gonna give it. So I was gonna give it a 7, but I'll give it an 8 because I think
Ooh.
I'll be generous. I thought it
Okay.
was enjoyable. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Satanic Panic is a fun ride. It's very quirky and is not afraid to be cheesy, but it has a limit. I don't feel like the complete like over the top gore like ruins it or anything. It doesn't get to like a point where you're just rolling your eyes. The dialogue's really punchy. I like it. It's quotable.
It is
Uh,
quotable. For
yeah,
sure.
I really like the humor in the film. It's humor subjective. So this one for me, just like you, like a lot of the dialogue is just like, oh, that was nice. I liked that. It's kind of funny. And then just like the satanic stuff just cracks me up and all that. I will also give Satanic Panic an 8 out of 10. It's like we were saying, it's not like the best movie ever, but it is a good ride. A nice 80 minutes. Just pop it on a Halloween night. Enjoy the ride.
For some laughs and some chills and scares.
Mm-hmm.
More so the laughs for me. That concludes this review. That's goodbye from me.
All right. I'm going to go start an occult ritual. See you, Space Cowboy.